All right, I have a little discussion here on how I buy or what I look at before I buy a used chainsaw. Um, I only buy used chainsaws. Um, I don't I don't work with chainsaws. They don't make a living for me, so I don't need a brand new one. Um, Usually a good used one will do everything I need it to do and last me just as long as if I bought a new one, if I take care of it. So, what I look for first off is general appearance. Okay, I usually buy a lot of parts too, so a lot of times I'll look at a saw and go, hey, that's got some parts on it, and I'll pick it up just for that. It's got a great starter cover on it. Um, Back handle's toast, which means the top cover's toast. But the front handle's nice. Muffler's nice. It's got all the brake stuff, clutch, good coil in it. So it was well worth what I paid for it. I know you look at that and go, God, that's junk. Well, it's got some nice stuff on it, and I didn't pay a whole lot for it. So it was worth it for me. So always first thing I do, and I check this a number of ways. I'll turn it over, flywheel or clutch, see if it turns over. But I always pull the muffler and I take a look at the piston. Now, if the piston looks like it's melted, has vertical lines in it, the ring and the piston have become one, you can tell if it's super scratched. This is a parts donor saw. By the time you get into replacing the block on this and all the parts that it needs, it quickly pushes this to where there's no profit. And this is how I fund my hobby. All my hobbies, really. I have a day job, and it provides me and my family a certain lifestyle, and I'm not going to take away from that for a hobby that I enjoy by myself. I always believe in working for what you want, and so I started by using a little gift money I had, and I bought 2 little home light chainsaws, and I flipped them. I got them at a yard sale, and I flipped them, and I used that money to buy more chainsaws, fix them up, get the fuel line. That's normally what the problem was on a lot of these chainsaws, was the fuel line was rotten. And so I change a fuel line, buy a fuel filter, get it running, flip it. I did that so much in just starting out. I started out actually with a little steel back there. That was my father-in-law's. He gave it to me. I'll never get rid of it. And then bought those 2 home lights, and flipping those home lights, then I would get some McCulloughs, or I would get these little home lights here, which I used to buy by the pound. Just boxes and boxes and boxes of them were just going to the scrap yard, and I would buy them before they got there or when they got there. And I'd fix them up, get them running. A lot of times they didn't need a lot of stuff, and I'd sell them $50, $40, $50 a pop back in the day when you could do that. And it's led to where I can get saws like this. Nice big professional logging saws. You flip enough saws, and then you end up with the money, you can buy these. And I bought these used. This is probably my newest. Here it's an '07. Guy bought it and a 372 at the same time. never used this saw. It sat in the back of his truck. And he said he'd pull it out on occasion, had a 32 lightweight on it for really big stuff that was laying on the road. And that was it. So got that for a good price. And then I was able to get the saws I really like, these old logging saws from the 60s and 70s. Kind of the pinnacle of chainsaws when the wood was still pretty big. And you know, they were getting out of the reed valve saws like these, you know, into the piston ported, you know, American made muscle saws, 125 and stuff. Now the prices on these are so outrageous that, you know, nobody can hardly afford to have one anymore. But somebody's buying them, otherwise they wouldn't charge the price. So after, you know, check the piston, I always like to make sure it has spark. So I pull the spark plug, put it on something metal, pull the handle, see if you have spark. This one did. So usually, you know, if it dies there, then I'll pull apart the starter and see what's going on. You know, it could be a loose wire. It could be that the coil's loose. You know, coil could be bad. And then if it gets down to where it's something that needs a replacement part, you know, then it just stays in parts, goes in a bucket. And then the next thing would be gas. You know, always open up the tank and look in. You have to visually inspect inside there, because a lot of times the fuel line and filter are laying at the bottom of the tank, and it's usually goo. A lot of people use this. I don't. I use the Tygon. And then when I pull this over, I had this out, I could smell gas, so I knew gas was coming up through. So then we'll just see if it fires up. I'm going to sit you down here. This is my phone, so I don't have a tripod or anything. So I'll just get you leaned up here on the tool bag. See if we can get this thing fired up. See if you guys can see this here. And that is always a bonus, and usually will put a smile on my face when that happens, because where I found this saw, I had to trudge through a bunch of mud, and it was just sitting out in the open, raining, snowing, and that always puts a little smile on my face there when they just fire up. So yeah, so that's kind of what I go through. Like I said, this one here, I have to decide what I want to do with it. Looks like the brake band's broke. That's no big deal. And all that plastic can be bought. Side cover, brake handle. Probably wouldn't be too horrible to get this running. Probably, you know, $100. I'd have to get Chinese parts, won't be OEM, and I might wait until I find another one. I used to find these all the time. It's been kind of slow lately, but yeah, so I might wait, see if I can find a donor saw for some parts. That would be the cheapest route for me. And maybe put it together and shoot, you know, one of those. I think last one I saw on Craigslist was going for over 200. So, you know, I don't know, someone locally here offered me up a little bit of money. I'd probably let it go. I'm not stuck on any particular saw. I mean, there's a few around here that won't go anywhere, but it's very few. There's probably 4 or 5 out of, I don't know, 50 or so saws. So anyway, quick little video, kind of what I go through when I look at a used saw. And as you can see, I I like them well used. This one here looks like somebody dropped it out of a tree or ran it over with their car or something. And other than that, everything works on it. So I'm not complaining. So anyway, till the next one. We'll see you later.